Let's move on now. Even after a change in regime, Pakistan's troubles are far from over. The ruling coalition government that has inherited a failing economy is not in a very strong position and is now facing growing calls for early elections, particularly from the ousted Prime Minister Imran Khan. Unless dissolved earlier, Pakistan's National Assembly is set to dissolve next year in August, and general elections in Pakistan will be held less than 60 days after the dissolution of the Assembly. The country's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is in London, where he is meeting with the PMLN-chief Nawaz Sharif along with top leaders. The ruling party's strategy on elections and electoral alliances is on top of the agenda for the London meet, and reports now claim that there will be no early elections as decided during the London talks. The Pakistan Muslim League's group in London has instead signalled the focus of the current government should be on providing economic relief to the people. Meanwhile, former President and the Pakistan People's Party's leader, Asif Ali Zardari, has said that the coalition is not afraid of elections, but the general election would only be held in the country after electoral reforms. Zardari was speaking at a press conference in Karachi where he said that the change in law is required, even if the process takes months.
अब वो चाह रहे हैं कि आप इलेक्शन पे चलें, तो हमने कब कहा कि हम इलेक्शनों से डरते हैं? हमको सिर्फ जो हमारा गेम प्लान है उसमें इलेक्टोरल रिफॉर्म्स हैं. आपने इलेक्टोरल रिफॉर्म्स करने, नैब रिफॉर्म्स करने.
The statement comes a day after Defence Minister Khwaja Asif indicated that elections could happen as soon as October. Khwaja Asif had said that the possibility of holding general elections prior to the appointment of a new army chief cannot be ruled out. The incumbent Chief of Army Staff, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, will remain in office till November 29 this year, and that is when his second three-year tenure will end. For more on-ground perspective, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik sends us this report from Islamabad. Take a look.
Pakistan's former president and co-chairperson of the Pakistan People's Party, Asif Ali Zardari, has said that elections in Pakistan will only be held after the necessary electoral reforms. Now, these comments were made by him at a press conference where he has also implied that there is a consensus among the ruling coalition to have to get done with the electoral reforms before Pakistan goes towards polls. Now, this is in line with the demand that has been laid forward previously with the by the former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, that Pakistan needs electoral reforms before it goes towards polls. There had been increased speculations that that there can be snap polls, but one thing that is there for sure is that despite the PMLN Supremo Nawaz Sharif eyeing or rather vouching for an early call for elections, there seems to be this much of an agreement that elections will only be held after the necessary electoral reforms in the country. Anas Malik in Islamabad, Pakistan for WION World is One.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.